Well, once again, we got more Japanese wrestling for all of you guys. I'm trying to keep up what I missed in the Japanese wrestling world. So, right now, let's review Ice Ribbon, Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling, and of course, one of the biggest events that DDT Pro Wrestling did, Kawasaki Strong. So, all of that will be reviewed, discussed, and talked about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I'm your host, J Rod here. So let's begin with the first Japanese wrestling promotion. It's a Joshi promotion. This one is from Ice Ribbon with the event known as Nagoya Ribbon. This took place on the 21st of January, which was 2 months ago. I know I'm a little late. Like I said, I'm behind. The sickness got to me. I didn't was able to keep up with everything that was happening. But keep in mind, for those who watch this channel and like the reviews I put out on these wrestling shows coming from Japan, I am trying desperately to keep up. But please be patient, because I know some of you will like to watch, may want to see them down the line. So the first match is a singles match. It's Yuki Machino taking on Tekla. Now, Tekla has been one of those names that I mentioned. Recently, she just now made a play for one of the championships. She's also a foreigner, but she's facing against the fun-loving Yuki Machino, who has her own belt made out of cardboard. But I figured that this match was going to be interesting because Tekla is the type who doesn't joke around. She is all business, and that's how I view it. But of course, you can take a wild guess. In the end, she won her match. It's plain and simple. Next match we had a tag team match between Noah Ishikawa and Yappy taking on Zuzu Suzuki and Riza Sarah. This is coming out of Suzuki's loss of her title. She seems like she's still the same person. Great match. I have to say, the chemistry with Riza and Zuzu really was great. Same thing with Noah and Yappy. But however, I feel more that the way the chemistry with Zuzu and Zero worked was fantastic. I think they're a fantastic tag team. But of course, they won their match thanks to Zuzu, who hasn't missed a beat ever since she lost her title. Next match is a 6-woman tag team match. First team, Joint Army, having their brand new member, Cherry, teaming up with Matsuya Uno and Teo Hemna. Now, the reason I say she's the newest member, Joint Army are like these karate girls wearing gis, but when it comes to big events, they take those off. Sherry has worked with the Joint Army before, but they actually asked her if she likes to join. But however, on the one condition, she doesn't want to wear matching gis, but she wears a white one. The others wear darker ones. And of course, they had to say yes. I mean, what is the better way to keep her happy? Take in their opponents were Frank sisters, consistent of Hiragi Karumi, Akane Fujita, and Mochi Miyagi. Also a good match, but however, I think ever since Cherry joined Joint Army, it made them more stronger. If you guys ever seen those type of scenarios when it comes to stable factions, whenever they have a new member, it makes them more stronger, more powerful, that sort of thing, and that's what Cherry did. And this allowed her to win her match for her team. Now, this is the main event. This is a very interesting one. This one is a best out of two falls 8-woman tag team match. First team, we got Rebel X Enemy, consistent of Rina Yamashita, Ram Kyoichi, Maika Ozaki, and Maya Yukihi, taking on Ibuki Hoshi, Hamuka Oshi, Tsukushi Haruka, and of course the newest Ice Eternity Champion, Tsukasa Fujimoto. The match was kind of insane. You see, this is your typical 8-man match. You have to win 2 out of 3 falls. First pinfall was done by Ram. Amazing. But however, the strange thing happened is when the bell rang for the second fall, immediately they start charging the opposing team. And of course, that pin was done by Sakusa, who actually won for a team. But later, once again, the bell rang. This time, the match won by Rina Yamashita, and of course, Rebel X Enemy won her match. But however, she wants to take a shot of Fujimoto for her Ice Eternity Championship. Don't know when that's gonna happen, but hopefully it does because I did see that there's other Ice Ribbon shows I haven't seen yet, but I'll catch up to that. So I think that's it for now for the Ice Ribbon stuff. So let's move on to Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Okay, so we got Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. They're doing their Winter Lovers tours. This one took place on the February 20th of this year. The first 2 matches were very interesting. They had this thing called the Futari wa Princess Max Heart Tournament. This is the first round. Uh, I'm not sure if this is like their version of the tag team tournaments that we normally do, that we normally see with New Japan, if you guys are a big fan of that. But anyway, let's just get this going, see what happens in these 2 matches. First match is Aruzo Endo teaming with Moka Yamamoto, taking on Mahito Kuru and Yuki Kamifuko. Now, I've seen many of these girls what they can do, but however, I had to go with the edge on this one with um, Kamifuko and Kiru, because the reason they've always been one of those dominant tag teams. These ladies have teamed up countless times. You have no idea the countless times I've seen them team before, but it kind of went in that way. I think it was Kiru who pinned um, Miyamoto to win for her team, and it was a very good match. But I have to say, I've always pointed out who I thought was felt right to win the match. Next match we have Haruna Neko teaming with Palm Harajuku, taking on this team, and they were once opponents, but they're also best friends. Miyu Watanabe and the current Princess of Princess Champion Rika Tatsumi. Now, you probably say, why did I mention that they were opponents? Well, ever since Rika won the title from Yuka Sakazaki, Miyu actually wanted to be her challenger, and she had prepared for that for quite a while, but she was unsuccessful in the previous review I made. But it was a good match. But however, seeing these two teaming up will put them to the test. Like I said, they were opponents, but now they're teaming. And I had to say that I don't think they miss a beat, knowing that, okay, I was your opponent from a while ago, but now let's focus on this. So it was, of course, Tatsumi who picked up the victory on this one for her team. So congratulations on that. Now we take a pause from this tournament and had an 8-woman tag team match. First team, we got Suzume, Mirai Maumi, Sena Shiori, and Hikari Noah, taking on Hyper Mizuo, Shoko Nakajima, who in reality was Shoko Ultra Shin, of course, the cutest girl in the world, Maki Ito, and of course, Mio Yamashita. Now, you can know there was only one team that was definitely was going to win. And you guys, if you guys watch Maki Ito, you can guess too. But ever since Maki Ito and Miyu teamed up, they've been on a roll. Hyper and Shoko been on a roll too, but having these two teams together, that's unbeatable. Great match, of course, but you cannot deny Maki Ito's her abilities. But of course, it was her abilities was able to pick up the victory for her team. And once the match was over, everybody got to sing and dancing like always. Now we continue back with the Faturawa Princess Max Heart tournament, continuing with the first rounds. First team, we got Raku and Miraki Kobashi taking on Neo Bishiki Gun, Mei St. Michael. In reality, that's Mei Shigura from Gato Move Pro, and Saki Sama, who's Saki Akai from Eruption. I have to say it was a very interesting match because the thing is, like, Mei is a little different. She plays like this little helper with the tray, like butlers do. But however, it did work on many occasions. Like, I think she's maybe one. This team is one that could end up in the finals. I'm not sure, but we'll see when that happens. But it was a good match, and Neo Bishiki Gun actually won. Now the next final match was continuing with the tournament. Magical Sugar Rabbits consistent of Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki taking on the current Princess Tag Team Champions, Bakuretsu Sisters, consistent of Yuki Inyo, Nodoka Temna. As you know, this is one of those matches like it could go either way because if you're fans of the Magical Sugar Rabbits, then you guys know what I'm talking about. But if you're fans of the opposing team, the Bakuretsu Sisters, then you guys know exactly what's going to happen. I feel like I was biased on both teams, but however, I have to say Bakuretsu Sisters really were the powerhouse in this match, and thankfully they were the ones that won the match. So we'll see what happens throughout the tournament. I'm assuming they're continuing with this one. I haven't seen the whole thing, but we'll talk more the next time I review Tokyo Joshi Pro. So let's get started with DDT Pro Wrestling. Okay, so the last thing I want to um, review is DDT Pro Wrestling. This time their event is called Kawasaki Strong. Now, I'm not sure if this is one of their biggest venues, but it seems like one of their biggest venues because I know their Peter Pan is one of the like their version of WrestleMania, but we'll see. This one took place on Valentine's Day. So let's go with the first match right now. We got Toy Kojima and Yusuke Okada taking on Juretsu, consistent of Hideki Okatani and Mizuki Wananase. Now you can assume in this one that if, Toy he looks more like a one of those young boy types. Same thing with Okada, but however when Genretsu, they're the most ultimate um, wrestlers that you know that could pull off a win, and that's exactly what they did. Now the next match, this one was one of the most interesting matches. This one is for the KOD 8-man tag team championship in a no disqualification match. But however, these titles were vacant. So they had to find new champions. So the first team is Sanshiro Tagagi, Makoto Oshii, then Shuko Dino, and Toru Owachi taking on Antonio Honda, Shinri Aoki, a Super Zadango Machine, and Kazuka Irada. Now, the reason I say this is one of those interesting matches, Irada is the kind of guy who likes to show off his dance. But frankly, it did not go his way. And of course, I mentioned Dino's bare butt. And of course, they even tried to do the um the the little thing that Antonio Honda does. But however, when that was over, Hinata was trying to get his dance routine. When he did, the power went out. The executive producer told him that they lost power, and he was disappointed. But however, Antonio Honda had a better idea. He decides to go and use Dino, who has anal electricity coming out of his bare butt. So he touched his bare butt, so they try to get to the extension cord. So they kind of use like a human chain. Hinata was like trying to get, but however, once they were able to get power, once again, it did not work. It went out. But the person who saved the day was Shinri Aoki, who used his power of the anal electricity to save the day. However, when Hirata was in fact trying to do his routine, Tagagi tried to put a pinfall on him, but failed. Hirata won for his team. Yes, folks, that's one of the comedic reasons. This is why DDT is one of the most fun, has comedy in their shows. And I have to say, most interesting and funny match I've ever witnessed. You'd be surprised. So we have new 8-man tag team champions: Honda, Aoki, Hirata, and Super Saiyan Dango Machine. So congratulations, boys. Now the next match we have a women's tag team match. First team we got Miyako, Matsumoto, and Saudi Inoue. I think I might have seen Saudi in Ice Ribbon. Yeah, she was in Ice Ribbon. Taking on Maya Yukihiki, who I mentioned in Ice Ribbon. And of course, Saki Akia. Now, I was surprised in this match how they were able to make this match so good. But I was surprised mostly with Saki. Reason is, if you guys are fans of Sonata, you know one particular move he does. And I'm talking about the Paradise Lock. I just found out Saki knows how to do it. I'm like, whoa. There's only 2 people in the world who can do that. And that is Milana Collection 8 TA, who is with New Japan, commentating, and of course, Sonata of LAJ. But she pulled it off. It was a good match. I have to say, this women's tag team match was really amazing, really good. But the match went in favor of Hiyuki and Akai. So they won the match. Now we get to another funny match. This one is called the Tornado 6-man tag team match. But it's not just your regular 6-man tag team match. Think of it as the intergender 6-man tag team match. Yes, folks, men and women. So here are the teams involved. First team, we got Keigo Nakamura, Mirai Imoe from Tokyo Joshi Pro, and Ma taking on Chris Brooks, Maki Ito, and Super Delphine. Now, much of this match was really funny because Super Delphine, I don't know what was going through his head. He accidentally hurt Maki Ito. On various occasions, Maki Ito got mad and she tried to leave, but Super Delphine tried to get the fans riled up, tried to get them to get Maki Ito's spirit, but it's so funny. I have to say there is some funny moments, but however, you know how this match goes. Once again, Maki Ito won this match for her team. That's why people love her, you know. That's why she showed up at AEW. But that's why she showed up in AEW, and you will see her on YouTube on Monday. So, I think that's pretty much it for that match. So let's go to the most interesting match ever. I like to call the Battle of the Bohemians. We got Yuki Naya teaming up with one half of Eruption, who are also the KOD Tag Team Champions. Katsusada Iguchi taking on someone from Big Japan, Yuji Okabashi, and of course, DDT's resident wrestler, Arashima. Now, this match was unbelievable. You have Iguchi and Naya, two of the biggest individuals in DDT. But Okabayashi is a very big, powerful dude. And Harashima, he's one this that he'll figure out how to take out. But what a match! But I wasn't sure exactly. I was thinking it was going to be Naya and Iguchi who was going to win, but no, it was Okabayashi who pulled out the victory. Now, I think what happened in the post match, I'm not sure yet. There was no subtitles or any um, translation or English commentating. I think Irashima knows that Iguchi is one half of the KOD Tag Team Champions, so I'm assuming that he wants Okabayashi to be his tag team partner to face Eruption. But however, the other half of that team is going to be in the match in the semifinals. I'll get to that in a bit. But it feels like that's what they want to go for. But if it does, I'll let you guys know once I find out more. Now we got an 8-man tag team match. We got All Out, Shun Katsumata, Akito, and this guy who I've seen before, but I don't know his name, is Yuki Ino, who has a grudge with Damnation's Yuji Ino, and of course the last member, All Out, Konosuke Takashita, taking on Damnation, Matt Pauly, Soma Takoa, Daisuke Sasaki, and Yuji Ino. Now, like I said, I didn't know who this other guy who had a problem with Yuji Ino, but once his name popped up saying his name is Yuki Ino, I'm like, okay, so it looks like they were once part of a team, and he turned his back on Yuki and the rest of All Out, joining Damnation. Uh, Makes perfect sense, but much of the match, it appears like it was focusing on the story build up with both these guys, with Ino and Hino. But it makes perfect sense. But however, the match ended beautifully in the hands of All Out, all thanks to Yuki Ino. But however, it appears that he's not done yet. He wants a piece of Yuji Hino. Don't know when if that happens or it had, but we'll see when that comes up. I can't wait to see it. Now let's get to the semifinal. This one is for the DDT Universal Championship with the other half of Eruption and also one half of the KOD Tag Team Champions, Yukio Sakaguchi taking on Yuki Inio, who's the current champion. I have to say this match was unbelievably good. It wasn't more of a straight up match. It was more like, think of it a blood sport type. I look at Sakaguchi. He is more MMA style, more kicks, more submission. But Yuki Inio felt like that Sakaguchi put him through the test. I was like, wow, it was great. But the match ended in a knockout, all thanks to Yuki Inio. And I think Sakaguchi felt that he got respect from him because he realized who would have thought a guy would pull it off, but he did, and that's a great match to watch. So Yuki Inio retained his title. Now we get to the main event, which is the KOD Openweight Championship between Akiyama and the champion Tetsuya Endo of Damnation. Now, this is like a battle of the veterans versus the newbies. So the young men, like old and new. But basically, it's always been like that. I mean, Tetsuya Endo, he did every possible move to ensure Akimaya actually loses the match or try to pin him or submit him, but nothing fazed him. Now, you look at Jun Akimaya, his reputation, you know he is well respected in the wrestling world, especially here in the States. But I was amazed how he won the match. Jun Akiyama becomes the new champion, and I'm like, wow. Also a good match to watch. I was pretty amazing. But because of this match, it did allow him to have a 1-year contract with DDT. Don't know if there's any opponent that would challenge him, but hopefully there will be. So I think that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed me reviewing this, but there will be other reviews coming up. I still haven't reviewed the latest New Japan events, and of course Impact Wrestling's Sacrifice. So that'll be the next episode for you guys. So for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, next DW on this DWZ channel. But also, I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day. Bang!